All right, so I'm sorry. I don't know what was recorded and what wasn't because I apparently forgot to hit start, or maybe something happened to my phone after my big long speech. So I think what I was talking about before. So you can see I did get some of this done up here. I'm using 3760, and I've started working through up in here. Excuse me just one second. I'm a little dehydrated and I'm drinking some ginger ale because I've been dealing with this really bad vertigo and nausea. So I will have to, editing me may have to make things kind of jumbled and not coherent so that I'm not, and I feel like I need this a little bit closer to me, but I think it's okay. So that I'm not, I'll try and make it as coherent as possible because I don't know where it left off. But one of the reasons why I have not been able to finish some of my work on stuff is because I did end up having to go to the hospital last Friday. I'm fine. I just, when you have celiac, you get I got stomach issues and I went in, like I was really lightheaded and dizzy and fainting, which is never good. And they didn't really figure out what was wrong with me, but I do need to go see like a gastroenterologist. Oops. Which is what I would see anyways for celiac. So hopefully everything's okay. I'm feeling marginally better today. I'm less dizzy, but I'm drinking tons of ginger ale, which is helping. Excuse me. And I'm really being careful about what I eat. I'm normally pretty careful, but I don't know. I've been eating a lot of yogurt to kind of like heal my insides. I kind of go back and forth with yogurt, so I'm not, I don't always like it, but I found some non-fat plain at Costco, or my husband did actually, that I've been eating this Greek yogurt. So it's pretty high protein. And then I just do a little bit of raspberry jam in there because I can't do honey right now. Otherwise, I would do honey. But I don't want to bore you guys with the same story over and over again. I'm sorry. Anyways, it was my first experience with a Canadian hospital. And it was definitely different than an American hospital. Like, they were not as thorough, but they were very nice. It was a long wait. I spent most of Friday afternoon, like Friday through late evening. I think I got home. I went in right after the kids got home from school. Or no, I think I went in around 4 and I came home at like 8:30 and just went straight to bed because I was so exhausted. And then on Saturday morning, I had to be back at 9 a.m. for a scheduled scan. They did like an ultrasound and everything. So, and I was there, like I was on time. I got there on time and I did not get my results for hours. So they're just really backed up and they were not as thorough as I would have liked. But I'm going to go see a specialist and hopefully they can tell me what's going on. I know that I'm having some nutrition issues because my fingernail keeps breaking. This one, I don't know if you can see the line in it, but it keeps splitting. So I've been having to put like nail polish on it to keep it from splitting. So, when you've had celiac as long as I have, you start to get nutrition deficiencies. So I've been taking vitamins and everything and really keeping my, I eat a lot of spinach, which I'm not a huge fan of, but is very nutritious. I eat a lot of lean proteins. I eat a lot of sweet potatoes. I'm probably going to do steamed sweet potatoes for lunch today. But for some reason, I'm just still not getting the right nutrition. So I think maybe going to the doctor will help. I sometimes do a multivitamin, but I don't like having the sugar. Like, I know I'm drinking ginger ale right now, but that's because of my nausea and my vertigo that I've been dealing with. So I don't know. We'll see. what they say. I'll let you guys know. I mean, I don't know if anybody else is dealing with celiac, but it's not fun. And I've been dealing with it for a really long time. So it's not like it's new to me, but sometimes I run across people who have never had it before and they just don't know how to cook, what to eat. So, the last 5 years, I've really developed a massive amount of allergies. Like I'm now allergic to nuts, like very allergic to nuts. Coconut. I wasn't allergic to coconut 3 years ago. I love coconut and it's in everything. Let me tell you how every single ice cream dessert has coconut oil in it. Every single beauty product has coconut oil in it. So it's hard to avoid. Sunscreen, like summer's especially hard because everybody wears coconut sunscreen and they spray it. They use that spray sunscreen and like I just can't be around that. I will have an issue. I'm pretty sure that's why I was in the hospital last July for anaphylaxis, because somebody that I was talking to had coconut in their sunscreen. That or somebody had just eaten nuts. I don't know. But anywho, hopefully I'm not repeating myself when I talk about my plumeria review. I am working on it. I got the bright idea. Well, I like it. I think it's a great idea, but I just, I never have enough time to do everything I want to do because I totally set really high goals for myself. And then, of course I can't make them because it's too high of a goal. But for plumeria, I was like, oh, maybe I'll just do like a time lapse of me using up all the diamonds, right? The extra drills. And so I started on that on Friday and I got like pretty far along. And then I realized like, the scene that I'm doing is not, I don't have the right colors that I want. So I decided to just post the video, especially since I was in the hospital and I just like, I got it out there. Right. And I'm doing these videos too, because I want to get everything on film for this one. And I've been mostly successful, but I also feel like it's a good practice for these WIP and chats because, mystery kits, not as many people watch because they don't want spoilers and all that, which I totally respect. Excuse me. But I don't know. So I started another one on Sunday. Another using up of the drills, and I'm using the Forever Young. Those I'll link them. They're okay. They're not poured glue. I think that they're some sort of like double-sided tape, and I'm running into issues with it because a lot of the drills that are left over are like the yucky ones. So sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't. But overall, I would say I really like having them because I'm just making my pattern. It's going really quickly on the paper, and I'm going to use up my leftover drills, and then I'll have it to go with my plumeria. Like, I'm just going to put it in those. Like, oh, the Amazon Finds video is coming out next Monday, where I talk about some of the stuff I bought for storage. So look for that. But I'm just going to put them in like basically a binder when I'm done. I really wanted to finish Witch Kitty Brew this month so I could start on my first Refresh Your Stash painting because I don't have any storage right now for another kit to be kitted up. And I do not want to buy, oh no, more storage. I really don't want to have more than 4 whips at a time. So I'm going to keep working on this one. I'm very excited to start the next mystery kit that I'm going to do. And I think it's going to be 54 Nature by, I think it's is it Rusty Rust or Chuck Pinson? I'll have to go look at my notes. But I'm very excited to start the next one, and I probably won't do a WIP and Chat for that one. I don't know. Like, I don't get as many comments on my WIP and Chats or likes or whatever because, it's a mystery kit. So people, don't want to, either they don't want to see it, if they haven't seen it before, or they're trying to keep it secret. Like, I am ruthless. If you are showing me your 2025 year in review and you pull out a mystery kit and just tell me to fast forward, but you don't tell me where to fast forward to, I will stop watching. Because in the act of fast forwarding, I always get a glimpse of it because I don't know how far to go. Like, I can't go super far and come back to the right time, right? I can't just skip ahead to, like, if you say my mystery kit fast forward to 30 minutes and 52 seconds, right? Then I know I can go past that really fast. Like, I can just scooch way forward and then go backwards. But if you don't tell me what time to go back to, then I'm like slowly fast forwarding and I can totally see on the screen what the mystery kit painting is because I invariably will scroll too slow. So just so you know, if you do whatever year in review and you do them chronologically, it's really helpful to have the timestamp on there for where to fast forward to, because I will straight up just stop watching the video. I completely respect needing to do it chronologically. I really do. I think it's amazing that you know chronologically, because I forget. I have to go look at my notes and everything. But also, it's still giving spoilers. You can't just say scooch ahead, because if we don't know where to scooch ahead to, then inevitably we will get spoilers. So I now know what the winter, I think it's Dreamer Designs images for their crafting den. Maybe that's Jada Gem Shop. So I don't know. I got frustrated because I was trying to watch everybody's videos, and especially people that I don't know, to see news, to subscribe. But like, if I can't make it through the video without getting spoilers, it's discouraging. So that's why I don't like, when I do my year in review, I probably will not even, I'll probably talk about this mystery kit at the end of this year, but I'm not going to show it because I really want to respect the mystery, the mysteriousness of the mystery kits. I have some really old mystery kits, right? I have 54 is my oldest one, the lowest number. So I don't know which one is oldest, but that's the one with the lowest number, I think. And I think that's why I was going to do that one first. So, oh, on that note, my mystery kit, the newest one, has not come yet. And I did get some emails from the front desk saying that I had a package, but my husband went and he said it wasn't for me. So sometimes they email like both of us when a package comes in, no matter whose name is on it. And sometimes they only email one of us when we have a package come in. And I did like walk over there this morning to see if my stuff had come, because Diamond Art Club was having a problem with the shipping. Like, they weren't letting people know, but I think it hasn't shipped yet, the newest one. And then I did order from Dreamer Designs the mystery box, which I should not have done. I completely impulse purchased that, and I don't know. One of their paintings I really did not want. So if I get that one, I'm going to be upset. But with myself, not with them, because they did post like what kits could possibly be in their mystery box of leftover kits, which I thought was really helpful. And there was like maybe 30 on there. So it wasn't like a small list. It wasn't like 10, and I bought 4. So it was a lot of paintings, but I don't know. That's just my like, please don't post, please put time stamps in there, or put them at the end. Like, I don't know. I had to leave a diamond painting group because people were posting just straight up, no warning, no like, and I'm not going to name the name, but I had to leave because they did like a mystery event, which is great, but there was no like warning. Like I hadn't logged on in a couple weeks and I didn't realize that they would just straight up post pictures of their progress and give spoilers on all these mystery kits. And I had to leave because it would show up in my feed, like there wasn't like a blurring or like in picture in the comments or anything. It was just straight up in the post, these pictures of these mystery kits. And like I don't I would like to be warned, I would like to know that there's going to be a spoiler coming through. So I left that group because I felt like it was be too difficult for me to continue if they were going to be posting for the whole month photos of these mystery kits and they were just going to pop up randomly in my feed. It wasn't like I could just avoid logging into the group, to see it. And like not click on the comments. They were just straight up in the photos, in the post photo. So I try my hardest. I try and put spoiler alerts. I try and warn people that it's going to be, Art by Julia, like the new mystery kit from Art by Julia. So someone was working on the Ivy Dolomore one. I think it was Diamonds and Washi, maybe. I'm not remembering. I don't have that one. I double checked before I watched the video. She was talking about how to do mystery kits and stuff. And I double checked before I watched that video, and I don't have that Ivy Dolomore. And I probably won't get it because it's a really old mystery kit. And I'm not going to go on D-Stash groups to buy them right at this point in time. I'm not going to because I have so many. Like I just don't need to. But she went a route like how to, and she didn't show the whole thing. She just showed like the top corner, the top right corner, which I thought was really respectful and so great. I'll post that video. It was just, she was talking about like how to do a mystery kit. And I was curious because I'm like, I wonder if she does the same way I do it, right? Like, does she have the same like strategies as I do? Or is she, okay, that's enough going above the line. I'm so bad. I don't like staying within the lines. I never have. I used to get in trouble in elementary school in art class for not staying in the lines and not like, we had to do this one project and it was like you drew straight lines to make a pattern across a circle. I got a really bad grade on it because I didn't believe that the lines had to be straight. And they acted like I wasn't trying, but I did. I spent a lot of time on it, but I was just like, I don't think these lines have to be straight. Anyways, so I really like that video that Diamonds and Washi put out about how to do a mystery kit. She had some good pointers in there. And she had some really good ideas. Like she said that she has someone else go and put like a cover on it so you can't even see the pattern. Because that's one of my problems is I'm pretty good at pattern recognition. So when I look at it, I can see immediately like stuff pops out at me. Look, I've used up this whole thing, but I think I'm going to need this again. I'm just going to toss those drills. I find drills everywhere in my house. I don't know if you guys do too. My kids are like, you're leaving stuff everywhere. Anyways, I love that video. I thought it was really informative and helpful, and I love the idea of putting like release paper over, but not necessarily release paper. Like she said that she has someone like tape over the plastic, like a something opaque, so that she doesn't see it through the plastic. And I love that idea. I think that's amazing. So I may have to do that with the next one, even though I did see the image in like when I was looking it up for my refresher stash video, there was like, I had to go back and get the images from Diamond Art Club. So I just searched and found all my kits so I could get the images on there because I'm not opening a lot of those boxes quite yet. And I did see the like image in when they show the size, like that third or fourth tab or the last tab, I guess, where they show how big it is compared to other pieces. And you can totally see in that image what was in the corner, the top left corner. So I immediately recognized it. And, you know, it's an older kit. I think this XX. Okay. It's an older kit. Oh, I was going to try this new tray I got. It's an older kit. So, like, I'm sure that image is out there everywhere. And it wasn't as, like, so, like, the new kits, look at that. It has a little duck in it. Although I feel like the duck should be facing me, like, this way. It's so cute. Oh my God. I love it. Okay. So I do have a little bit of a spoiler on that one, but I think I might do the whole like cover up the top, and then maybe I'll just start in the top left hand corner on that one instead of doing like this roundabout way of doing it. Oh. Okay, let's see if how this tray works. My husband wanted me to test it for him. He made it. I gotta tell him to turn the image the other way though, so it's facing me. I don't know. This is how I hold. I don't know if you guys hold them differently than I do. He has a 3D printer and he made this for me last night. It was super sweet of him. So I was going to test it out and see how it works. Okay, do we have any other X's? We can see. I don't see any other ones. I really like this color. It's like a peachy kind of color, but it's an AB, or it's a Z. So Z is fairy dust. Okay, so that side, it doesn't really work when it goes down. See how they kind of stick? They're sticking a little bit. I feel like I need like a paintbrush. A paintbrush would help. These drills are also very staticky. I don't know. I told him I'd try it out today and see how it worked for me. But I love how there's like a little duck on there. I had him make me a duck one. Well, I didn't have him. I said it would be really cute if I had a tray that had a duck on it to work on my duck piece. And so he made it for me. So super sweet. Okay, C. So I'm very excited to start that one. I really wish that like I had, 8 hands if I was an octopus and I could just do them all at once. I started to organize a little bit yesterday, my desk, or today, this morning, actually, I should say. I started to organize my desk a little bit, and I've started to kind of organize some of my cross stitch patterns because, everything is just a huge mess. But, and I happen to see some of my diamond paintings, like that strawberry shortcake one lives in my brain way more than it should. I really want to start that one, but I need to get through my older ones. Do you see any more C's? Oh, there's some right there. I need to get through my older ones, and I need to just be working on them more. I realized I'm spending a lot of time at night just watching TV, and that's not good for me. So I was thinking of doing like some sort of like 5 a.m. morning routine next week. I'm usually up by 6 or 6:30. I'm on this since I switched to Allegra for allergy meds. I am struggling to get up in the morning a little bit worse than I was before because it's drowsy. It's very drowsy for me, which is why I take it at night. So I think this might be a little bit too sticky. I'll have to see. He wanted me to test it out and see how it worked. But I don't know. Like, my biggest deterrent from doing like some sort of like 5 a.m. morning routine for the month of February is the fact that my kids already go to bed after I do a lot of nights. Like today is Tuesday. So Monday nights, like yesterday, my son and I went to bed about the same time. Like I started to get to bed. He was ready and in bed by like 8:40. So my daughter has a class that goes until 8:30, and then she's home by 8:40. And on Monday nights, that's when he has to go to bed, is when his sister gets home. And she usually gets in the shower, right? And then she goes to bed closer to 9:30 on Monday nights. I do not go to bed at 9:30. I go to bed at 9. Like 9:30 I'm asleep if I'm not up super late. And so like I already like if I'm getting up at 5 instead of 6:37, then I'm going to have to go to bed at 9. And that means that on Monday nights I will be definitely in bed before my daughter. And then on Tuesday nights, she has another activity that goes late, but she tends to have homework, and so she usually is not in bed until 9:30 on Tuesday nights either. And then she has her early morning stuff. So like I have to go to bed. I have to make sure that I'm in bed by 9 on Tuesday nights because I have to get up at 5 on Tuesday mornings to take her to her early morning practice. So and it's hard. Like on Wednesdays, I am exhausted. Like I am usually very tired in the evening, and I usually go to bed super early. So I just don't think that like I can do that sort of thing. But I do think it would be helpful for me to not have so much screen time before bed to sleep better. So I think what I'm going to do is try and do like no screen time after 8 or something like that. Like I want to really get back into like a nighttime kitchen cleaning routine. Like we kind of fell off of it over the weekend because I wasn't feeling well, and my husband does not keep up with things in the same way. I'm sure a lot of other women have had this experience. One of the things I love about Canada is that I may have to stop for lunch here pretty soon. One of the things I love about Canada is they have way more of like those mini sodas. Like everybody just kind of buys the minis instead of the big cans. And I love that because it means that my kids can still have a little bit of soda, but I don't have to like make them choose one flavor and split the can on Friday nights for pizza night. So I do let them have it on Friday nights for pizza night. So I think you need to learn how to kind of control your, it's really good for them to kind of learn like limits and regulation as far as sweets go. We were having a little bit of a soda problem with my youngest. So with the girls, right, when they were about a year and a half, 2, they wanted to try soda. And they both, I was like, sure, you can have a little sip. Like a little sip is fine because I knew they wouldn't like it, right? Like it's spicy. They call it spicy. So both my girls like made a face, and then they were very upset with me for giving them something, so gross and that spicy. And like my oldest did not drink soda until she was like in middle school. She still didn't like it. And my middle daughter, she didn't like it until she was closer to like 8, 9. So like it was fine, right? Like I gave them a sip, they didn't like it, and that was the end of it. The youngest, on the other hand, it totally backfired on me. I gave him a sip and he loved it so much, and that's like all he wanted to drink. So, we didn't give him soda. He's little. He was like almost 2 the first time I gave him a sip, and he loved it. So we had to be really like I had to not drink it in front of him because I didn't want him to be tempted. He's little. He doesn't know any better. So it's just like a difference of children, like their personalities. Like I was shocked because, all my other kids didn't like it. So it was never a problem. But, when we moved this summer, we had to do a lot of takeout. And so, because we just didn't have the capacity to cook. When we first moved in here, we moved in like literally the day before school started, and we didn't have a chance to go to the grocery store for like a big Costco run for a few days because my husband also had to start his new job, right? So we didn't have like a really horrible soda habit, I would say, but it reached the point where I was kind of like, we need to cut back. Like he started, when he goes to Costco, we would go to Costco to get groceries, and he would get a hot dog, and then the hot dog comes with a soda. And like I tried to make him have lemonade, and then like if I gave it to him, I would tell him he could only have half, but it ended up being like my husband would end up just letting him have the whole thing. And I feel like that's too much soda for anybody. That whole big container of like, I think it's too much. So he ended up like, oh man, I might have to open another pack of this. I have more packs of it, but I think I'm gonna have to open another pack. That means I gotta go get my scissors. Oh, I can borrow my son's. So he ended up having soda like maybe 2 or 3 days a week. And life happens. Like, oh gosh, these are very staticky. Life happens, and I ended up just telling them like, hey, we're drinking too much soda. It's not good for people to drink soda. Like, you guys can have juice during the week. And I started buying them juice, because we're not big juice drinkers. Like, juice goes bad in our fridge. It always has. We just don't drink a lot of it. But up here they have these small, like, quart-sized containers of berry juice, and so I've been buying those because they're shelf stable, so I can buy like a couple. And then I have small glasses, like this right here that I'm drinking out of is a vintage juice glass that I inherited from my grandma, and that's what I usually drink. If I drink this small, like probably 8 ounces, like if I have cranberry juice with lunch, then I will have half of one of those, 2 3/4. But the ones that I have for the kids are those little yogurt container ones. Like when you buy yogurt in a jar, or like those flans from Costco, I save the jars and then I use them as juice jars for the kids. So they can have, it's like a really small portion with breakfast. And that seems to kind of end with breakfast because I don't know, they tend to need a little bit of a pick me up in the morning sometimes. So I just give them a little bit of juice. It gets them out of bed. It's a motivator. So, anyways, where was I going with this story? Up here, they have the small cans. They're the little minis, and I just buy those, and then they can have one a week. So, like a 6-pack lasts 6 weeks, right? They don't have to share, because I was having them split a large, like a 12-ounce can. But they don't have to share. They can get their own flavors. I let them each pick out a 6-pack, and then told them they had to kind of share a little bit with their siblings. So they picked out Orange Crush and root beer, because most of us really like root beer. And then it just kind of makes it like a known thing. And half the time they forget on pizza night. They forget that they're supposed to grab a soda out of the fridge. So it's been better. I feel like it's so easy down in America to get junk food. Like up here, people do not snack at every event. And it's been nice. It's been nice to like not have to have that like constant, like, oh, we need to eat this. Oh, we need to eat that. And so, I feel like it's better. These are sticking too much for me. I'm gonna have to let him know. Too sticky. These ones are the frosted, so they're not as smooth as the other ones. See, it's doing much better on here. I'll have to let him know. They're more like the texture on them. I don't know if you've used these before. I really like the texture. Like, it's so satisfying. I'm always rubbing them. They're gonna be like dirty from all the rubbing I'm doing. But yeah. So that's like a big change that I really like up in Canada, is the lack of junk food. So, although like for the all fall, they were getting tons of candy at school and at sports practice. So I don't know. The kids do not go with us to Costco anymore. Just the way our schedules are. So there's not that temptation every week. He used to go, the boys would go to Costco while the girls went to sports practice on Sunday mornings when we lived down in America. So it's been a big change. feel like I'm kind of rambly today, so I'm apologizing if it's super rambly and not your style. I just wanted to make sure and get some chit chat in. I wanted to also talk about, maybe I'll move on from soda habits, but I wanted to talk about some of the events I'm going to be doing going forward. I've already signed up for Fairy Tales and Folklore with, okay, who is that one? I know it's Diamonds and Washi. I think it's Diamonds and Dr. Pepper is the other person doing that one. I will link the video down below. But they're doing Fairy Tales and Folklore, and that one, since it's really a relaxed event, so I would recommend joining it. I think there's about 800 of us in the Facebook group so far, and it starts February 1st, which is Monday. And Fairy Tales and Folklore is like pretty generic. It's generic enough that, and there's no like new start requirement. You just kind of work on what you want during it. I don't know what the prizes are or anything like that. I haven't looked it up yet, but I am going to be working on, oh my gosh, this thing. I'm going to be working on my Randall Spangler, my literate dragon. It satisfies, one, my refresher stash, two, pas de deux, because I'm doing that one, right, both as a cross stitch and as a diamond painting. And then it also satisfies the Fairy Tales and Folklore theme because it's got dragons in it. So I'm going to work on that one. I might do like a quick little video Monday. I'm not going to start on Sunday the 1st. I am flying on Sunday the 1st. So I will not start it then. I will probably won't start it till Monday. And I may do like a quick WIP and chat for it, just to kind of show you where I'm at on that one. I don't think I've even like shown my progress on that one at all on this channel. So I started it. When did I start that one? I will have to look. I think I started it in 2024 at some point. I have it written down. And I'm not very far. Like I've gotten most of the first row, like to here, if you can see that. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little bit more squares of the bottom done. And that's it. I haven't really worked on it. It was a square and I was intimidated. It's a big one. I think I'll have to look at how big exactly it is, but it's a bigger piece. It was the first one that I opened up and was very intimidated by because of how large it was. It's huge. It's not as big as some of my big ones that I have though. And it might not even be as big as this one. It might actually be smaller than this one, but it definitely intimidated me when I opened it up. I think it might be like 80 or 90,000 drills. And this one I think is over 100. If I'm remembering correctly. How many drills is this one? I don't remember. I think this one might be closer to 100. I don't think it says on the box. Does it say it on the little? I think I already put my sticker sheet in the thing too. Yeah, I don't have my sticker sheet. Nope, I don't have it in here. I think this one is closer to 100. It might be 90. It might be 110. I don't remember. It's 23.6 by 31.5. Maybe it's only 80. Oh, I have the box. Maybe it's on the box. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's just under 78,000. Like, I think Witch Kitty Brew is about the same size. It's just slightly different dimensions. Oh no, Witch Kitty Brew is only 47,000. No wonder it feels so much smaller. 78,000 for this mystery kit. Oh my But the Spangler one, I think, is probably about the same then as this one. It's probably around 80 or 90. Maybe it's only 70. But when I opened it and I opened it all the way up, I almost fell over. It was so big. It seemed so big to me. Because it was one of the first kits I bought, right? Like, I hadn't really opened any big ones. I'd only opened up Joyous Ladies, and Joyous Ladies is more like 8,000 drills. It was more like the size of Witch Kitty Brew, so it wasn't nearly as big. Oh, I just turned my head too quickly. God, I love that Vertigo. So I'm excited to work on it again. I know that like I tried multi-placing when I was first learning, and it's my first square, so a lot of the drills are like not like I started multi-placing with that one and with Plumeria. And Plumeria is a round kit, and Literate Dragon is a square. So, you know, there's a little bit of a learning curve there. But we'll see. I know that there's some gapping and I can see the lines, but it's also an older kit, right? It's in my Refresh My Stash. It's also like the older style box. I think it came out in 2023, maybe. I'll have to look it up. But that's what I'm going to do for both Refresh Your Stash and for the Folk Tales, Fairy Tales and Folk Tales, or Folk Tales and Fairy Tales event for February. So I'm just going to try and get through as much of it as I can in February, and then I probably won't focus on it for a while because I do want to finish Witch Kitty Brew, and it's big enough that I don't think I'll finish it, especially since February is such a short month. And February for us, we have a lot of family stuff and friends in town in February. They don't do midwinter break up here in Canada, but a lot of our friends are on midwinter break in February, and they're coming up here because they ski. So a lot of our friends are going to be skiing. So, you know, at various places in the area. I think some people are going to Whistler. So I don't know. I just know that there's people in town. Lots of people in town. I'm not sure exactly what everybody's doing, but they're going to come visit us a little bit. So we do have plans, and then there's Valentine's Day and 519. I think it's this. There's a lot of this one. Look at that. There's 4 more packs. So we're going to be very busy in February with all of that. So nobody's staying in our house, which is nice because we are a little bit cramped. When our daughter comes, she stays because she just like either sleeps with one of the kids, or we have our couch where she can sleep on our couch. It pulls out into a bed, so it's not like she's, oh my gosh, there's so much static. That's bad. It's not like it's like a full-size bed. So, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous that this is just going to spread. Oh my gosh, look at that. Ooh. I feel like these videos should be called Jennifer Battles with Static yet again. Because she refuses to get dryer sheets. Is that what you would call this too? Like my stubbornness. I just don't like having the chemicals on my hands. I don't know. Like if I could buy just one dryer sheet, that would probably be enough for me. But I don't want to buy a whole pack and then not like it, you know. Oh, these are so bad. Okay, we're gonna pretend like that's okay. That wasn't even the right color. Just sticking to the edge of the table. Okay, this is why there's drills all over my house. It's not me, it's the static. Okay, we're just gonna go with that and then hope that's good enough. So yeah, we have a bunch of people coming into town this month, and there's competitions. It's kind of wrapping up the season. We have like all of the sport my daughter does. Her former team is up here in February as well. Her whole team for a competition. They're competing against each other. Actually, they're different categories because the team my daughter's on this year up here is much higher level than the one she was on down in the States. But they're going to be all up here for like 3 or 4 days. So, we just have tons of people in town, and the Valentine's Day, and then, once we hit Easter, oh, maybe that's April this year. It's not March, but there's just so much stuff going on. We have a birthday. We have, the kids have spring break. They get 2 weeks off up here instead of one for spring break, which I really want to travel, but I'm also nervous about traveling. Because of some of the events that have been happening down in the US, I'm a little bit nervous about planning anything down there outside of like where we live. So, I do have a lot of family in Minnesota. That's where my family is from. So, it's not great what's going on, but I don't really want to schedule a lot of travel at this point. Not only because of issues and also like my health stuff that's going on, but also because of money, right? We had a lot of really big expenses. As we speak, George is back at the vet. My husband, that's why he came downstairs, was to take George back to the vet. He's developed some hot spots. He's, how old is he now? 9.5. So he's golden schnauzer, and his father died at 9, maybe 9.5, but around 9, from a really rare cancer. And then his uncle died shortly after from a different very rare cancer. So, that's always on my mind when George has these like unexplained health issues. He's very itchy. He's very uncomfortable. We were not able to get him in until today. He has a hot spot that we've been treating. You can buy this stuff on, but he's just so uncomfortable. So I'm hoping it's just like his skin thing that he's got going on and it's not something else. But it's hard to see. We've known George since he was a very little puppy. We got him from his dad was our really good friend's dog, so we'd known that dog his whole life. And now we've known, well, most of his life. And now, we've known George and his whole family for most of his life. Like, I went down, he was my birthday present one year in 2016. I think we got him. And I got to pick him out. He was one of the crazy ones, but he's a really good dog. He's well loved in the community here. Like the front desk lady, whenever she's having a bad day, I take him over there to say hi. He loves her. She's really nice, but he especially loves her. So I don't know. He's a really good dog. He's a pain. Don't get me wrong. He does stuff he's not perfect. But the stuff that he does is like, dude, really? He's just a goofball, So I don't know. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully it's not something more sinister. Hopefully it's just like some sort of like, a lot of older dogs develop skin issues as they get older. Like our dachshunds both did. And, it wouldn't surprise me if he had some sort of eczema from the dry air or something like that. Because Luna also has some dry skin, but she's not nearly as bad as he is. So I don't know. Oh, I bet there's diamond each other. No? Oh, yep, there is. I can feel it. So hopefully he's okay. He's the first dog we got as like a little puppy, a puppy, because we got Zoe. Oscar I adopted when he was around 6 or 7, and Zoe she was a puppy, but she was like 9 months, 9 or 10 months when we got her. So we missed that like puppy stage. And Luna, even we got her at 12 weeks instead of 8. So she wasn't even like that little baby puppy stage. So, you know, George was our first puppy baby. So, and I would probably get another golden retriever if we ever got another dog. Either a golden or something small. My goal in life, once I don't have any kids in the house, and well, once we no longer have Luna, I should say, which is kind of morbid to think about because she's only 4.5. But I'm a planner. Eventually, I want to rescue like old, feeble, little old dogs that don't have anywhere else to go. And kids are not around the house. But Luna is only 4.5, and I wouldn't trust her. We probably will not get another dog until Luna's gone, just because she's so nervy. And I would never want to be in a position where we have a struggle and we have to make a decision whether or not to keep one of them or not. So she's just a nervous dog. She likes other dogs. She's just nervous. I don't know. Like, she wasn't like that when we got her. Well, she was afraid of everything when we got her. It's like we took her out of her home environment and she suddenly was terrified of everything. But she lived with she had both her parents on site, and like they hung out, and then she had 2 other brothers with her. So it wasn't like she was an only dog or anything like that. And we might not have even gotten her until 13 or 14 weeks. I can't remember, because but she just she's nervous about everything. So she probably would do that really well on a farm. There's not a lot of people walking by all day long. So the people make her nervous. I think it's because she has that guard dog in her. She's guarding us from non-existent things like loud children walking on the street, on the sidewalk. I don't know. I mean, she's made a couple friends at the dog park, So she loves the dog walker. I mean, the dog walker is her best friend. So, and she loves people. She just doesn't. She's pretty aloof. She just ignores. If she doesn't know you that well and you come in the house, she's fine. She's just pretty aloof. But if you're nervous, we have a couple of kids that we have to put her away because the kids are afraid of dogs. It's way more common up here than I would think. And so we put her away because we don't want the kids to feel uncomfortable in the house, right? So we put her away, but she's really nervous around the kids that are afraid of her. So it's like she knows. She knows they're nervous, and that makes her nervous. So, but she's totally fine around most people in the house. She has issues being on a walk, but she's gotten way better with the training and the practice and everything. So I think that moving countries was harder on her than it was on George. George is much more laid back. And I think moving countries and not having her normal sniff spots. I mean, we had just moved a year prior, but that was easier on her because she got a yard, and I had been taking her, to my mom's house while I fixed it up for over 2 years prior to that. So she had been there a lot. So it wasn't like a brand new place. Here, we basically just drove down, grabbed them, and then brought them up. And that was the first time they saw the house. And that was hard, I think, on the dogs. But it's not like we could go back and forth. with them to getting used to it and everything. So it's fine. She just does take a while to adapt. Like when we were down in America for a week over Christmas, and then we came back up, it took her a couple weeks to settle back in. So she's a baby for sure. She's my baby. She needs lots of extra attention. She's special. So she's a good dog. She's nervous. She's a nervous Nelly. So, all right. I am going to pause here and then do the time lapse for a little bit while I eat, because you guys don't want to listen to me chew. So I may be back. I'm going to try and finish this section today. It's like almost noon, so I usually eat around noon. I've made a huge mess of drills. Like I was saying, the windows are all open. I only have one dog with me right now. I just have George. But he has proven to be a little bit barky. Oh, I need my tray. Let me grab my tray. I think I put it in my Witch Kitty Brew case because I was going to work on it at sports practice yesterday. But I ended up going to the grocery store instead and getting gas because it was time to get gas. It's really easy for me to go during one of my kids' sports practices because it's like literally 5 minutes away. There's never a line and it's a good price. So I usually go during that sports practice. And that practice it's 4 days or 3 days a week. No, how many days a week is it? 4 days a week at that location. And it's 1 day a week at a different location, but it's 4 days a week at the location that's near the gas station. So I had plenty of opportunities to go. And I needed to get stuff at the store. Like we were out of fresh fruit, which it's gone now. I bought a pack of blackberries and they're gone. My daughter so generously left me 4 blackberries this morning for my breakfast. So, and I'm not buying more because we are traveling. My daughter and I are traveling this weekend. The boys are going to be home. Okay. Holding down the fort with the dogs. So, we have sports stuff this weekend. So I'm trying to get my videos up and running. Okay, let me just make sure I can see. I can't see anything through this camera. It's way up above my head. Let me just make sure you guys can see, and then I'll get started. Okay, I think maybe, oh, you guys can't see the top. Okay, so let's zoom out just a little bit. Hopefully that works. Okay. And I'm sorry if the angles are all funky on this one. I'm doing my best. I'm still not feeling great. Oh, I need some washi tape on this thing. On this baby. I need some washi tape. There's dog hair everywhere. It's a mess. But I'm just going to do a little bit of talking today because I already did my video with the bottom right-hand corner. So I don't want to, I don't mind doing a lot of talking, but I feel like I just start to ramble and I don't really, and then I start to talk about stuff I really don't want to talk about, like the kids on camera. I really want to respect their privacy. So there has been a lot that's gone on since I filmed yesterday. Last night was a really rough night for me. I didn't sleep very well at all. I probably got 4 or 5 hours of sleep. So that's fun. This canvas has a crease in it. And I haven't actually worked on I have a lot of diamond paintings, but I haven't really worked on a few. And then I saw Michaela Renee was talking about one that she had recently bought. I'm not remembering which one it was right now off the top of my head. It might have been Panda Cafe, the Art by Julia one. had a crease in it as well. And she was saying it's because they put the cover on before the glue is dried. And I could see that happening, right? Because I bought this came out in the fall. I think maybe November before Black Friday, maybe. So I could see where in the fall they're rushing production a little bit, but I'm really hoping the crease comes out. I did try like lifting up the cover and letting it settle a little bit, but it was only maybe 5 minutes and it didn't work. So I don't know. Excuse me. We'll see how it ends up working. This is my washi tape from the advent calendar. I'm super excited. 123, not 123. Caterpillar Cross Stitch is releasing their 2026 advent calendars today. I haven't bought it yet. It releases in about an hour. I really want it. If I'm being honest, let me start getting some drills on canvas. Where do you think I should start? So this is upside down, right? This is the top left corner. This is the right direction. You can see, if you can see that, do what makes you sparkle is upside down. So this is upside down. I'm going to work on the top section right now. This is kind of middle. Oh, I was going to do these 4. I wasn't going to do any next to, but I already cut my canvas. So we're just going to roll with it. So I guess maybe you guys, when I work on this section up here, we'll get a little bit of a sneak peek. Oh, that's funny. I don't know. I'm going to do these four squares because I just want this one to go faster. I really am enjoying working on it, but I feel like the filming process is slowing me down. So I think what I'll work on first is, I don't like to start on the edge necessarily, but I also don't like to start in the center when I'm doing it like this. I guess I could start next to these ones so that they line up. Oh, look how crookedly those are. Do you see that? I should probably cut this paper. Oh, I didn't realize it went that way. Look how crooked those are. And I'm missing one right there. A down arrow, I think. What do you think? Should I just go and... I guess I don't need this all the way up like this. I just need like half of it. This poor canvas. I love it so much. I am so enjoying this one. Like, I would have bought this. I would have 100% bought this. Hands down. Sight unseen. If it had come through as like a regular one and not the mystery kit. I love it so much. It's so beautiful. Oh, those are so crooked. I think this is the first one I did, and it's just very crooked. I'm still getting used to multi-placing with squares, so sorry about that, guys. Maybe I'll start down here and do these ends. There's a bunch of ends. This is like a lot of line blocking in here, so this must be like a vertical section of the piece. Where should I start here? Oh, I never know. What should I do? E? Looks like there's a bunch of E, uppercase E up here. What's E? What does it look like? Where's the E? Here it is. It's a gray. I hope my head is not showing because I'm like leaning over it. My hair is a mess. And I'm wearing my noise canceling headphones because I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I have just been so inundated with sound lately. Like, sound is really bothering me, and I become someone that needs to have like noise canceling headphones on in the house because the noise just really starts to bother me. It's really weird. Like, sometimes in the morning when I wake up, before I've had my coffee, I have one of my kids chats a lot. Like, they're like the Energizer Bunny, and they're never tired. And they always are talking like nonstop. And sometimes in the morning, they talk before I've had my coffee. And I have to be like, I'm so sorry, kiddo. Like, I would love to hear what you have to say. This is what I found out works the best, as I say, I'm so sorry, but I'm not awake yet and I haven't had my coffee. I really want to hear what you have to say, and I really want to remember it, but until I've had my coffee, I'm not going to remember anything that you have said. And that gets them to kind of pause and give me a moment to wake up. And then, of course, we start talking as soon as I've had a few sips. They've learned, like, I just need a few sips and then I can start to really listen. But I just can't process anything first thing in the morning. I really can't. I really need that like transition time. And I used to like sit in the bed and kind of wake up slowly, but Luna immediately sits on me and wakes me up, and then I have to pee, like because she sits on my bladder. So if that's too TMI, I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is when you have a Velcro dog and they love you to pieces. So um, I don't get that anymore. I usually have to get up right away, and then that just kind of like I need a few minutes to adjust. Some days, some mornings, I need my full cup of coffee. It's that bad. Like, I just can't. I'm not ready to face the world. But luckily, I've got a great kid, that understands boundaries and mostly listens when I say that. So it's nice. But that, the way I say it, it makes it, I'm not like, dude, get away from me. I want to make sure they understand. Like, it's not that I don't want to listen to what they have to say. It's that I physically am not able to in that moment. I need a moment. Because then later, kids get upset if you don't remember. And it's like, dude, I told you, I need a moment to wake up in the morning. Like, this is just the way my body processes, just like you need a moment to calm down at night, like we really talk about that kind of stuff because it's important. I think it's important to really understand other people's boundaries and how to respect them and how you can, work around differences that you may have in the way you process or handle things. So hopefully that's the way it comes across. I don't know. My oldest knows she was well trained because she was an only child for, up until she was like 14. So she sometimes I see horrified looks when some of the younger ones come up to me before I've had my coffee because she knows. I don't know. There's a difference, right? When you have one kid, like the first one, I feel like it's kind of a trial and error. Like, I don't parent the younger kids anywhere near the same way. I mean, some things I do the same, but I've learned a lot, since I had my oldest. So, and things have changed. Like, even between my second and my third one, I was flabbergasted. So, for my second one, it was still okay to have, there's something like about the cribs, like, or feeding. No. Okay. So between my first and second one, the rules changed because the rules, whatever they decide the rules are, sometimes it is true. Like, it's safety stuff, and safety stuff, we always want to follow. But between the first one and the second one, those drop down, like my oldest, I had one of those cribs where you like pull the thing down, you push it or whatever, and it comes down. And that way you didn't have to like bend over the railing to get the kid out of the crib. But between the first and the second one, that became like a big no-no, right? They became illegal because kids were dying, which is, I'm so glad that they are, making sure the kids are safe. But that was just, just something that had changed in between. And then between the second and the third one, they completely changed. So my younger two are only like 2.5 years apart, right? They're not that far apart. It's not like I had that, like I expected things to change in between the oldest and the second one, between the first and second one, because it was like a 15, 14. I think the oldest was 14 and a half when my second daughter was born. So you kind of expect changes, right? Because it's been so long and things have changed. But between the second and the third one, they completely changed like the feeding guidelines. And so I had to like look it up because like they changed it. Like, they stopped recommending, oh gosh, now I can't remember because it's been so long. I think with the oldest, they recommended cereal first, cereal and white fruits and vegetables. So like bananas, I think, were on the first list, pears. And you were supposed to start feeding your kids solid foods at 4 months. And that was the same for the second one. It was kind of very similar, like try solids around 4 months and blah, 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 right? By the time my third one came around, they were like, no solid foods before 6 months. 6 months. And like, it was such a big change for me, you know? Like, I had already raised 2 kids. We did baby led weaning with our middle child. We tried to do baby led weaning with the youngest, but the youngest was not having it. So, you know, each kid is different. They have different tastes, they have different ways they want to do things. You know, you just kind of have to meet your kids where they're at. So, I don't know. That was a big change, I think, in 2 years to have that like big thing. And I was like, we were in PEPs and the other parents were like flabbergasted that I didn't just like immediately accept this change. But I'm just like, dude, you guys, I don't think you understand. Like, I didn't even realize that it was that. Like, by your third one, you're not reading all the journals and the articles. Like, you're really not paying attention to that stuff as much. But all my PEPs friends were just kind of aghast that I gave the youngest a little bit of solid foods before 6 months. But it wasn't a lot. It was just a little bit. I don't know. I'm sure things have changed since then because it's been almost a decade since I had any children. Like, giving birth was different. The first one I wasn't allowed to eat or drink at all. And then I think the second one I wasn't allowed to eat or drink at all either because I was induced for all three. My first one I was induced because my water broke and we had reached like the time limit. And so then they induced. But the other two, I had to have like a scheduled induction because they were so late. My kids didn't want to come out. I firmly believe that if we didn't have modern medicine, that I would not have made it through childbirth with any of my kids. So I'm very thankful for modern medicine. You know, my body can't handle. It's not great at giving birth. So, anywho, I should change the subject because it gets kind of. I'm sure nobody wants to hear all of the details of that. So, but it's just amazing how things change so quickly. And part of I think a lot of that is because I really hope my head is not like poked over and you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm sorry if it is. But I think a lot of that is to keep parents from knowing too much, right? I don't know. I think whatever works for your family is what works. You know, unless it's a safety thing. Safety is the one thing that I feel like should always be followed with babies. Because a lot of safety stuff has changed, you know. Oh, that was the other thing that changed in between the oldest and I'm sorry, I'm on this tangent now. The oldest and the middle one is the oldest one. It was like all about placing the baby on their back. And I think by the time we hit the middle one, it was back to placing them on their front, but having nothing in the crib. Like, I had a bumper for the first one, but I didn't have a bumper in the crib for the second or the third because, you know, they didn't want you, like, not even a blanket. So, like, I had to, like, because my youngest is a winter baby and it was cold. I had to, like, bundle him up in 2 or 3 layers of I used to put a onesie, a cotton onesie, and then 2 fleece sleepers on him and one of those fleece halo sleep sacks to keep him warm at night because even with the heat on and the furnace on, it was so like there was like a draft and any slight breeze would wake him up. So I don't know. It's just hard when you have a newborn in the winter. I think it's the hardest time. I have one fall, one like late spring, and one winter baby. And, you know, each one was born, it was different challenge, right? So, but I will change the subject. I did want to talk a little bit about George's update with the vet. His lump that I found is, they think it's just not fatty tumor, but like those fat deposits that old dogs get. And they put him on some anti-itch medicine. He does not have fleas, which I knew he didn't because I have been combing those dogs like nobody's business, checking them. I check them every few days for fleas because they've been itchy, right? And Luna is just dry skin. She gets dry skin every winter, and you can tell like it looks like dandruff, right? Like it looks the same as dandruff. So I know it's just dry skin. So I know she doesn't have she's always been like that. She's weird. Like she doesn't have a lot of hair. She's bald on her tummy. So um it's just genetics with her, I guess. But George's like itchiness and everything is new. It's very new. He's never been a super itchy dog. He's never had skin problems. But older dogs tend to get skin problems when they get older. And so I think he's just dealing with that. We do have a dermatology referral, I believe, and we put him on some anti-itch medicine. The vet had him take flea medicine just in case, but they couldn't find any fleas either. Like I'm pretty good at finding fleas. I have like this sixth sense for dogs on where to look because I am thoroughly disgusted by fleas and I do not want them in the house at all. But my dogs go to the dog park, and the chances of them picking them up from another dog are there. They're not like 100%, but there is a chance, right? So I do check them regularly, and I've never seen any evidence, like no flea dirt or anything on them. So, and even when sometimes when your dog is like really itching a spot, you can find like the flea bite itself. And I haven't found any bites. None of the rest of us are itchy, so I'm pretty sure they don't have fleas. But they gave him flea medicine anyways, just in case, which is fine. He was due. Like we have it on the calendar, so I was totally fine with that. Like they need flea medicine, they need flea medicine if that solves his itchiness. And he's a little bit better. His hot spot is looking way better. I was looking at it yesterday. He's definitely more relaxed and actually sleeping. Like he was not sleeping. And he was kind of antsy too. Like you heard him. Well, I'm going to edit that out, but he did just bark a little bit. But he was way more antsy, and he wasn't sleeping at night. Like he was waking me up and scratching in the middle of the night. So, or chewing on his foot on his hot spot when he thought we weren't paying attention. So, he's definitely been sleeping really deeply. Like after his anti-itch medicine kind of kicked in when we got home, and he's doing a lot better. He seems a lot more relaxed and not so just uncomfortable. When a dog gets itchy like that, they're just uncomfortable, and you can tell. So he looks a lot better. So I'm glad we took him in. I'm glad we got him on some flea meds and some anti-itch meds just in case that helps. But he seems okay. He's getting older, so I imagine, there reaches a point like with Zoe and Oscar, our previous dachshunds, we reached a point where we just couldn't, we had to stay home with them because they were so old. And I think we've kind of reached a point with George. I mean, he's fine, but I think I'm just going to have to budget for a lot of vet bills this year because we've reached that point when they kind of need a lot of veterinary care. After not really going in very often at all for the last nearly decade. I mean, he's 9.5. We've reached a point where he's just going to start needing stuff. So we're just going to have to stay on top of it. Just plan for it in our budget. Like we don't have pet insurance anymore. It was super expensive up here. Like I think we were paying I think 30 or 40 USD for each dog down in the US, and it saved us a lot of money. Like Luna ate chicken bones once, and I had to call. Like, she gets injured a lot. She's really Luna she's like a bull in a china shop, and so she'll step on stuff. And George once stepped on something sharp in the backyard, and like his bleeding everywhere. Like it was during like an ice event, so I think he had stepped on something. I don't know, but we never figured out what it was. But they eat things, and you have to take them in, especially when they're puppies. All the puppy shots. Like we've always had dog insurance when we can for these two dogs. So, but not now. But the vets wasn't that expensive. Like I didn't feel like it was excessive. So I don't know. But I will probably at some point time lapse this. I don't know how much I'll get worked on. I do need to finish my Pluvaria review, like the actual post, and then I need to finish I think I'm gonna film but not post my um what's it called? Oh my gosh, my brain. I got some diamond paintings in. I've been waiting for the rest of my order to come through, but it hasn't. So I'm hesitant to. I may film this part just so I can get the box. Like it's sitting on my living room floor, and it's pretty big. I may just film this one and but not post it, and then hopefully by the time I get back from my trip, the other box will have come with the mystery kit. So if you guys have the mystery kit that just came out, the latest one from All Claire Studios, if you guys, I haven't been on the Diamond, the VIP board in a while because I have to switch my Facebook account. I'm not really on. I'm not a fan of Facebook, but oh, that one's really not in the right spot. I do have a Facebook page. It's just Oscoe, I think, or Oscoe Zamp. I'm not really on there. I just have my auto posts that go through for the blog, and sometimes I do post on there. But oh, I wanted to do a shout out to Alicia Beads. She's a friend of mine that is going through kind of a rough time, and she has this fabulous jewelry business. She's had it for a really long time, and she's just Alicia Beads on Etsy. I will link her shop down below. But if you are looking for a gift, even for Valentine's Day, she's local to Washington. Maybe look there to support somebody. She's had kind of a rough go the last year. So, and is really trying to support herself on her own. So, any help helps. I've ordered stuff from her before and it's been beautiful. So, I do actually, I just am now remembering I never picked up the stuff I ordered for Christmas. I need to go pick that up from her. I was going to pick it up over the break, but then her and her kids had the flu. And I was like, nope, sorry. I don't want the flu, which is reasonable, I think, for anybody. So, but I haven't really been back down enough to see her since then. So, but she's a lovely person. She's a really great artist. So, you know, I really like supporting small local people. So, um, that's my little plug for her. I do repost her stuff on my Facebook page all the time because she's so amazing. But there's that. I don't know. It's just been a rough week. I am feeling better after my hospital stay, but I'm very overwhelmed with everything that's going on, especially down in the States. So I'm just having like an overwhelmed kind of week, and that's probably why I'm doing a lot of diamond painting this week before I go on my trip, is because I want to, one, catch up, and two, it like really helps me focus and not be so worried about everything. So I think I might stop the ease and then do these down arrows so that I can, because this, I really don't want to have to run into issues with the spacing on this. Like right now I can still kind of wiggle it back and forth. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the down arrows. I don't usually like to switch colors so much, but I say that like I've been switching colors a whole bunch and I haven't been. But yeah, there's been some really bad news out of the States, not just the snowstorm, but everything else that's going on with cold things. And, you know, there's definitely a lot of chilliness in my neighborhood that I used to live in. And it's been really unsettling. And I know I don't really talk a lot about stuff that goes on down there. as much on the channel, but it's because I'm going back and forth so much. I'm just concerned. Like, I really don't want to not be able to see my mom. My mom is not able to come visit me, and she's not in great health, so I'm really careful about what I say on here and all of my social media. So just know that I do really try my best to support those that are affected by a lot of the things that are going on. I have a lot of family in Minnesota, so yeah, it's just not been great. And I may lose subscribers again because I'm saying this, because I lost a bunch of subscribers when I talked about accepting other people on my personal curriculum. And I don't know if that was just like a natural, like, some people will subscribe and then unsubscribe, and they just, like, once a week they'll sit down and do it. And I don't know if it was just a natural thing with that or what, because I don't have that many to begin with. And I'm not doing this for the subscribers. I'm doing it to kind of, because I feel like we need a little bit of coziness in the world right now, and it really helps me stay on track. So I don't know if you're still here. You've made it through this whole thing, and you haven't just, like, I don't know. It's just been hard, and it's most of the reason why I didn't sleep last night is because I was worried about the state of the world, the general state of the world. And then I don't know if you guys saw my post on Threads. Follow me on Threads. It's where I'm most active besides YouTube is Threads. Excuse me. And it's just at OscoExamp. I can link it in the description. But my youngest this morning, I did not sleep last night. Like, I probably went to bed at 1 or 2. And then my middle child has sports at 6 a.m. on Wednesday mornings. So fun. And I usually take her, but I was up really late last night. My husband was too, but he is not like me. He does not need a lot of sleep. Him and his mom are both like that. They just genetically don't need a lot of sleep, which is fine, but I do. I need my sleep. So I slept in a little bit. I was going to sleep until 7, which isn't too late, right? Like, being up till 1 or 2 and then getting up at 7, it's not enough sleep, but it's enough that I'm still functional after my coffee. And I will probably, I really want more caffeine, but I probably won't have any more caffeine. I may fall asleep this afternoon. We'll see. But my husband was taking, one kid to sports practice, and then they get back like right before school time to leave. And I knew that my husband had made breakfast for the youngest and laid it out for him because I could hear it. It kind of woke me up a little bit, the oven and everything. And he had to make breakfast for my daughter. So, like, I know he's not going to just make one croissant, right? If you live in Canada and you have not bought the Costco croissants, I guess they're really good. You can buy them to bake at home, and we just have a toaster oven. So the kids get like a croissant pretty much every morning. But my son, I was half asleep, right? I was trying to wake up really hard. So I was kind of like dozing. And it was only 6:45, 6:30. So it wasn't like I'd hit past that 7 o'clock mark, right? Like, my kid can get up and feed himself a croissant when it's on the counter. He can just do that. Like, he doesn't need me to do that part of the morning routine. And he knows what else he can eat, right? Like, they know what to eat. Like, they're very spoiled because we basically make them breakfast every morning. So, but he can do it himself, and he has done it himself multiple times, like, I don't know. But I was half asleep and I was dreaming about something. I don't know what. And then it felt like I was in a graveyard, and this, like, ghost walked over my soul. And I woke up like, no, I'm not kidding you. I woke up like a coma victim. woken up from a coma, and I like my eyes opened up, and I was freezing cold. All of a sudden, it was like seriously like a ghost had walked over me in the middle of my sleep. No, my son had just decided that he was going to slowly and creepily pull the blanket off of me, off my torso, while staring at me. Creepiest manner possible. And apparently he has done this to multiple people in the house, because when I texted my oldest, she was like, oh yeah, he does that to me all the time. It's like, oh my God. He could have just tapped me on the shoulder, or like said, Mom. And instead of saying like good morning or anything like that, oh, this is gonna be interesting. Look, this is around. He was like, Dad's not in the bed and he's not downstairs. I don't know where he is. Like, it's like he's at practice with your sister. Isn't there a croissant on the counter for you to eat? It's like, oh yeah, okay. And then he went down and fed himself. Like, it was not a good awake moment for me. I was creeped out. I'm still creeped out by it. Like, he thought it was hilarious. So, but I was awake. I'm now awake. We'll see how long I can stay awake. But man, kids, like, they do the weirdest stuff sometimes. Do your kids wake you up like that? Do they creep you out? Like before, sometimes he would just stand there staring at me when he was younger, when he was like 3 or 4. And I would get woken up by like this feeling like someone was watching me. And then I would bolt up and it would be my son just staring at me to wake me up, instead of like tapping me on the shoulder or, climbing into bed. He doesn't do that to my husband though. Or maybe he does, and I just don't know because we haven't talked about it. But it's so creepy. It's so creepy. So, ugh. I don't know. I definitely will be. And I was telling, when the other 2 came back, I was telling him about it, and he just laughed. He thought it was hilarious. Oh, that kid. I love him to pieces. He's so funny. But creepy in the morning when he wakes you up. So I did post about it on Threads. Just because it's such, like, I don't know. I feel like people need a little bit of humor these days. So Threads is wild, though. You get all sides of the coin. But there's some great communities on there for crafting, especially. Oh, I'm very tired. Let's see. Okay, so I just filmed that whole segment, and it turns out my microphone battery died in the middle of it. And I don't know when. So I feel like every week I have something else that goes on with this WIP and Chat. So I'm sorry. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm sure it will die again here pretty soon, but I'm going to do a time lapse of this going forward and recharge my microphone. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And as always, I hope you have a fabulous day and you are staying safe.